Hello, and welcome to the Social Security Show. I'm Daniel Summer, Public Affairs Specialist with the Social Security Administration in metropolitan and downtown Chicago. And to my left is a familiar face. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Shazz Shakeel, also a Public Affairs Specialist in Metro Chicago, and it's wonderful to be here with you today.
Thank you. Now, today we have a great show for you because it's that time of the year where we slam the scam, and that's where we go after those who try to intimidate, steal from, and commit identity theft against those of you who have Social Security numbers. Shazz, what do you know about Slam the Scam?
Well, if you've had annoying phone calls coming in, either from a number you recognized or an unrecognized number, and it seems like they're trying to get some information out of you, you're not alone. We, Social Security employees, get those very same calls. And there's some indicators that you want to be aware of that'll kind of show you or tell you that this call may not be a genuine Social Security person calling.
If it can happen to us, it can happen to you, because I'm the Social Security guy. I go around telling people about fraud. And while I was on my way into an office, I got a phone call, and they told me that I absolutely had to give them my name and information and Social Security number because they had a warrant. Funny how you can have a warrant without a name. They needed my Social Security number or they were going to come after me and I could get arrested. And they said they were going to execute the warrant. I thought they were giving me the death penalty. The fact is, though, they didn't have any information, and they relied on me, or tried to get the information so they could go with their nefarious purposes of identity theft.
And that is the key point there, Danny, is the scammers are trying to get the information from you because there is personal information that they do not have. And we phrase this attempt as phishing, right? So you might be used to phishing, and they are actually phishing for your information.
They cast a wide net, and as much information as they can get is as much they will try to use. Often it's sold on the dark web. Sometimes, if a person has just a name and a Social Security number, well, that's worth so much. An address and a driver's license number added to that, it makes it more valuable. You don't want your information available or sold to people, so you want to keep it to yourself. And one of the things that we never ever do when we call you is we don't ask for your Social Security number.
We also don't threaten you. We also don't tell you if you don't give us the information that your benefits may be turned off or your benefits may be shut off. So the point of these scammers is they try to get you in a situation where you get nervous, where you are sort of on the back foot, and then you reluctantly give that information to them. So it's important to be aware of the red flags, and it's important to be aware of some of the tactics that they use.
We don't ask for your bank account information because if you're getting a benefit, guess what? We already have it. And one of the greatest mistakes that people make is because they're nice. Shazz, that prior generation especially, those of Social Security age, often were taught to cooperate, to say please and thank you. And those are great habits and great social skills. However, when you're dealing with scammers, you don't want to accommodate them because they will try to take you for everything you've got. In that bank account, I've seen many situations where a person's bank account gets drained. There was one instance where someone applied for a home equity loan on the house the individuals were living in and got the cash.
Exactly. And scammers are always evolving their tactics. Scammers are aware of certain tools in their trade that they can use to get the information. They know if they're speaking to somebody in their 50s versus somebody in their 70s, there's a different way they're going to lure you into the conversation and try to get that information from you. And once they do, their point is to impersonate you and use your identity to do fraudulent activities like that loan scam you mentioned, Danny.
Thank you, Shazz. And now that we've gotten our March Slam the Scam infomercial out of the way, let's talk about something else. What we want to talk to you today has to do with working while disabled. Many people find it boring to not work while disabled. Many people see they have skills that they could still use, and even though they have impairments, they're not down for the count. And there are opportunities and programs for these individuals to work.
Exactly. So it's important to know that Social Security has two different disability programs. We have Supplemental Security Income, SSI, that you can get based on a disability, and we have Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, that you can get based on a disability. So with either program, if you return to work and are looking to get back into the workforce, there's different rules and certain rules that apply to each type of disability benefit.
You know, Shaz, Josephine and I did another show about SSI versus disability and the important differences. But here's something that they have in common. There's always an opportunity for those who want to test their skills to take the opportunity to try their hand at working. And we're going to discuss a couple of the programs here today. And one of them I know that you're very familiar with is the PASS program.
Exactly. So the PASS program is a plan to achieve self-success. That's what we're encouraging folks to do. So what the PASS program allows you to do is exclude some of the income that you are getting from your Social Security or your SSI check, and use some of that income to help support your educational and career goals.
Funding your dreams is a good way to call it, because the first thing that we do is we set up a PASS plan, because the PASS is actually just that, a plan to achieve self-support. What this means is, by activating your plan and working through the steps, you would have the opportunity to either reduce or completely eliminate your reliance on disability or SSI. This is good because it allows you to go into a career field that you're interested in.
And again, there's different career fields. You can try to be self-employed, you can try to get a job for wages, and you're even allowed to increase your educational credentials before getting to that point where you can be employed.
Absolutely. The first thing you have to do, though, is make the steps and then follow the steps. So in other words, you submit a plan for what you want to do. Shaz, maybe I want to be a barber. Maybe I want to be a horticulturalist. I want to grow plants or something. But this PASS plan would help me to set aside funds and then go through the proper education or training I might need. Those funds could be used for transportation. Those funds could be used to fund my dream. So the fact remains is, we want you to do what you want to do, and we'll help you without endangering your benefits.
And there's tons of information about the PASS plan that's available online. So I encourage our viewers to please go on our website and read up a little bit on what the PASS plan is and understand whether it's appropriate for you and something that you're interested in. And if it meets your needs and it sounds like something you can achieve, please give us a call.
You know, Shaz, one of the biggest fears that people have when they're thinking about doing something outside of getting their disability benefits is they fear they're going to lose the payments that they depend upon. Now, that's a real concern. However, aren't these programs set up to guard against that?
Absolutely. So once somebody is approved for disability benefits, you are able to go back to work and test out your ability to work before your benefits are stopped or completely terminated. So we have different phrases and different terminology, which we'll share with you in a second. But before we get into the nitty-gritty details of it, it's important to understand that your disability benefits do not terminate or do not stop as soon as you return to work. They are programs and incentives we have in place that, again, allows you to test your ability to work. You're testing whether I can support myself from my job full time, or whether, hey, I perhaps can't because my disability is preventing me from working substantially and I need to keep my benefits.
And when we talk about that ability to test your work, that 9-month trial work period when it comes to disability is vital, because you can try something and unfortunately not everything succeeds. What happens though, Shazz, if I go for 9 months thinking I have this thing locked down, and so the bottom falls out? I'm no longer able to work. What happens then if my benefits have stopped because I'm earning too much?
So in that situation, it's important to ensure that Social Security is aware of how much you're making and how much you're earning. So any months after the trial work period where you have earned more than the substantial limit, we'll stop your check for that month because you are supporting yourself from your wages or your earnings from your job. But if you're for 1 month unable to continue, or you're not able to do the same hours, or your disability prevents you from earning substantially in that particular month, we'll pay you the check for that month. You're owed your disability check for that month.
Very good. Now, that makes sense, and it provides a sense of security. Having that safety net where you can work without fear that if it doesn't succeed, that you won't be destitute, is a great benefit to those who depend on those benefits that they've earned. Now, let's take a look at one other thing though. Now let's suppose all those 9 months have gone by, the trial work period has expired, the individual has those high earnings, they've entered a 36-month period of extended eligibility. What does that mean?
Great question, Danny. So once your 9 trial work months are over, you enter into a 36-month or 3-year-long extended period of eligibility. Again, during this 36-month extended period of eligibility, your disability is not terminated. You are still able to work and you're still testing your ability to work, but the difference is during the 36-month extended period of eligibility, if you earn more than the substantial limit, we will stop your check for that month. If you earn below this substantial limit, you will be paid a check for that month. So theoretically, you've used your 9 trial work months. You have an understanding of how many hours you can or cannot do. So when you're entering into the extended period of eligibility, you should have somewhat of an idea of what your ability to work is.
And you know, Shazz, that's an important thing. And here's what I like to explain to people when they're at my desk and in the extended period of eligibility. Some people need that income from their disability, for example. They also want to work. Here's a case of being able to eat your cake and have it too. Some individuals structure their work activity so that they are just below that substantial amount. It's not cheating, it's not gaming the system, it's working within the rules. That way, that individual maintains their benefits and they still have the ability to work up to their potential.
Exactly. And that substantial amount, it's important to know it changes a little bit every year, right? So this year in 2026, it's $1,690. The year prior, it was $1,650. And it's important to know that we are looking at your gross earnings, right? So if somebody is able to earn $2,000 gross for 1 month, that's more than the substantial limit. So if you're in your extended period of eligibility, we'll put your check on hold for that month.
But let's remind everyone, don't do the math yourself. There are things that we can discount, such as impairment-related work expenses. Maybe your employer is a nice guy and they're giving you 100% of the pay for 70% of the work. All these are considerations that we take into account because we are trying to assist you. So don't just go on flat numbers and think, I can set this up myself and I don't qualify. I've seen many people make that mistake and they lose the opportunity to to work and receive their benefits.
And there's several other work incentives we have also. So income-related work expenses, if you're taking medication and you're paying out of pocket for that medication that's allowing you to do that work, the expenses for that medication would not be counted, right, against your earnings for that month.
Let's not forget the continuation of Medicare. And when people have impairments, that's a very, very critical factor for whether or not they can continue working.
Exactly. So medications, medical devices, if some folks need transportation, specialized transportation to their job, all of those considerations we refer to as work incentives at Social Security. So if somebody, again, is receiving disability benefits and working, their work incentives are considered and are part of the analysis and process in processing their cases.
Now, I want to go a little further with this example. Shazz, humor me here. Now, let's just say I'm doing a stellar job. I'm getting my work on, and I now am earning so much that I don't receive any benefits for all of the 36 months. I'm doing fine. I'm not getting benefits. Then the bottom falls out. The same condition that caused me to get disability in the first place suddenly steps back up. Now, what do I do? Do I have to start back over or not?
You do not have to start back over. So at Social Security, we have considered that. We understand that folks who have had a disability that entitled them to benefits may return to work. Those benefits may even stop because you have worked long enough and it seems like you're able to work full time again. But if for some reason that disability again impacts your ability to work and you're unable to work substantially, you do not have to start from scratch and file a brand new claim. You can file a very specialized claim that we refer to as an expedited reinstatement.
Now, expedited is a very good word when it comes to getting your benefits back, Shazz. Perhaps you'd like to detail that?
So the best part about the expedited reinstatement is as soon as your disability is now preventing you from working again and you're losing that income immediately, once you file that expedited reinstatement, we can begin paying you that same monthly benefit amount that very same month where you file your expedited reinstatement. So we'll continue to pay you those benefits up until your disability benefits are sort of reapproved, and then we turn your disability benefits back on. That's the expedited process, right? So if you file a new claim initially, you might be waiting 4 months, 6 months, 8 months before you get that first check. But in an expedited reinstatement situation, you can get a check that very month, the same month you file the expedited reinstatement.
Prior to us sending that information down to even be evaluated, you're back on. Now,
Exactly.
Shazz, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of your favorite programs, the Ticket to Work, because this is in your wheelhouse. It's one of your specialties. Tell me a bit about what is a Ticket to Work?
So the Ticket to Work is a free program that Social Security offers where we provide assistance in helping folks who are getting disability benefits. We help them find a job in their job field based on their educational credentials and based on their prior experiences. So this is a free program that we have where we link you with disability advocates and work incentive advocates that will help you find the job and then ensure when you are working that you're logging your hours the right way, reporting it to Social Security the right way, and that you essentially progress through the 9 trial work months and then the 36 extended period of eligibility months, that you progress through them the correct and right way and avoid any trouble and difficulty.
So this is training as opposed to pass, which would be more like a plan to get you into the workforce.
Correct. So the Ticket to Work, again, sets you up for a job that you can essentially start doing within a few weeks, within a few months. The plan to achieve self-success, or the PASS plan that we mentioned earlier, this is sort of guided by the claimant or the beneficiary, him or herself, based on their own career or aspirational goals.
So you see, the Social Security Administration does want you to achieve your goals. Whether you choose to be self-employed, whether you're looking for training for a job, or whether or not you want to test the market and see how well you can do out in the workforce, there are incentives and ways that we want you to win. Now, Shazz, I want to talk to you about something else now. We've covered just a bit about scammers. We've talked about the PASS program. We've talked about EXRs and Ticket to Work. But now I want to talk about something that everyone here can do, whether or not they currently receive Social Security benefits or not. And that is access our online services.
Exactly. So Social Security is now a digital-first agency. So we are encouraging, motivating, moving folks towards accessing and creating a My Social Security account. And through a My Social Security account, you can do tremendous amount of your Social Security business online 24/7 from the comfort of your own home without having to visit an office, without having to call and wait on hold. What are some of the actions and what are some of the items that you can do online, Danny?
Oh, if you want to know that. Lose that Social Security card, guess what? No standing in line, no waiting, no making an appointment. Within 15 or 20 minutes, it can be on its way to you. So that's a big thing because we want you to keep your Social Security card in a safe place, but as we all know, things happen. That's just one thing. If an individual wants to apply for retirement, they can file online. If they want to apply for disability, file online. There are all manner of benefits, including Medicare, that the applications are easy to do and they're right there from the comfort of your own home at your leisure, day or night.
100%, Danny. And with tax season coming up, some folks might be looking for their tax form, which is called an SSA 1099. You bet you can get that online through your My Social Security account. Even some of the stuff we spoke about earlier. If somebody's getting disability benefits and working, are you able to report your earnings online?
You sure can. And in addition, some people need benefit verifications. I had someone come in just last week and they were trying to get a mortgage and they needed a printout of what they receive. Guess what? I showed them how to do it online.
And again, the online account is free, it's secure, and beneficiaries can access their notices online. They're able to, like Danny mentioned, apply for retirement, disability, SSI benefits, all online. So you don't have to wait for an appointment. You can essentially skip the line and apply today if you want to apply today.
We at the Social Security Administration have been online since the 90s, and I'm going to brag right now. We've never been hacked. We want to keep it that way, so keep your information safe. Keep your information secure. Stay away from those guys who are trying to slam you. We want you to stay away from the scammers and the fraudsters. We want you to conduct your business online from the comfort of your home. No muss, no fuss, with ease.
And if you call or visit your local Social Security office, please ask the customer service representative to give you some information about My Social Security accounts. We have tons of flyers and handouts and step-by-step guides that'll walk you through the registration process.
If you've ever been in a Social Security office, you've seen these. The pamphlets are available online. This one in particular, guess what it's about? Working while disabled, how we can help. This particular pamphlet details the PASS program, and guess what? It also talks about the Ticket to Work. So get your copy online. You don't even have to go to the office. But if you do go, pick up one of these if you're interested. I'm Daniel Summers, Public Affairs Specialist, and we'll be back next time with another topic of interest to tell you all about your Social Security benefits.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. See you next time.